Welcome back to the Les Petites Saintes Crochet blog. I'm Elise and I would like to show you my latest creation. This is the fox pattern from Little Cotton Rabbits, and you probably noticed she doesn't have any arms, she doesn't have a tail yet, and she doesn't even have any clothes. But I'm working on it, and hopefully within the next day or so I will finish her, and when I do I will be posting her on Instagram. So if you would like to follow along with me there, I'm at Les Petites Saintes Crochet blog. But today I want to talk to you about the 5 goals that I believe every maker should ditch. Now, you may be thinking that is quite presumptuous of me to assume, but these are mindsets that I believe have been holding me back. I would love to know if any of these 5 are things that you struggle with yourself, and if you do, will you leave them in the comment below? You can even just leave a number, or I would love to hear your thoughts about it and if you're overcoming them, or even if you disagree with me. We've been told since the beginning of our lives that we need goals. You can't be successful without goals. People have always been telling us, you need goals, you gotta have goals. Goals are a girl's best friend. Wait, I think that's wrong. I think that's diamonds are a girl's best friend. But we all need goals, and I have goals. I want to learn how to make fingerless mitts with Fair Isle knitting. I want to improve my mattress seaming. I want to lose some weight, and I also want to start shaving my legs more than once a month. Those are all great goals to have, but maybe you find yourself like I have before, with goals that really aren't serving you or anyone else for that matter. Maybe they're actually hindering you from being the maker that you could be. The problem with making Instagram growth your sole focus is that we have such little control over how we grow on Instagram. Imagine, I'm sure you've had this happen before, where you post something and you think it's really great and you are really surprised when it crashes and burns and you're like, why didn't anybody like that? Or on the flip side, you posted something and thought, well, that's not so hot, and you found, whoa, I can't believe so many people liked that. It's like trying to read the tea leaves. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Instagram. There is no other place where I can connect with people from all over the world who are so inspiring, that are the most amazing makers, and I've made friends and I laugh and I am inspired on an everyday basis. The problem is, at one point, my goal was to gain more and more followers, looking at my analytics all the time, seeing how I posted, how many likes did it get, why didn't it get any likes, how come I am not getting as many followers as I did last week? And I began to notice that that was really holding me back creatively. I was much more focused on getting more followers, getting more likes on a post than I was actually creating, and that isn't my goal. The second goal that I think every maker needs to ditch today is trying to be just like someone else. Now, I think it's totally normal in the beginning when we imitate those that we find super inspiring, whether that's on Instagram or YouTube or a blog or someone we know in real life. But eventually you need to find your own voice, because the world needs to hear from you, not just a copycat of someone else. On my own maker journey, I did this as well. I started imitating other people because I saw what they were doing and I was so inspired that I thought, well, I'll just do what she's doing. And what I found out is that I'm a very poor imitator, and I think most of us are. We want to do exactly what someone else is doing, and then we feel so frustrated and discouraged when it doesn't look like what they did. So the best thing to do is focus on what are you passionate about, what do you want to do, and find your own voice. The third goal that I think all makers should ditch today is doing things the way you've always done them. Now, I know it's comfortable when you start doing something and you get kind of good at it, and then you can kind of cruise along and it's easy. But what I found in my own life is that that began to stifle my own creativity. There are other things that I wanted to do. For example, I wanted to learn how to hand knit toys. I'm actually working on learning stranded color work for knitting, and there are so many other things that I want to do, but it's stepping out of that comfort zone. But what I have found is that it has breathed new life into my creative life, and I am so excited to get up in the morning because I love learning new things. So stepping out of that comfort zone, quit doing things the way you've always done them, can kind of shake things up and get you really excited about making again. The fourth goal that I think every maker should ditch today is never failing. Now, I admit that I am a failure phobe. I have spent a lot of my life trying not to fail, which is actually kind of funny because I'm actually really good at failing. But what I have found is that by trying to just avoid failing meant that I didn't want to try new things because I was afraid that, oh my gosh, I would fail. I would look like an idiot. I've learned as I've gotten older that it's not that big of a deal, and I'm going to show you one of my recent failures. Now, I call this guy Little Alien Bear here because he has a rather slender little body here and a big, huge, giant head. So while I was trying to design this little teddy bear, I had an idea in my mind, and he doesn't look like what I thought. Now, to be honest, I actually kind of like him from the neck down. It's this big old alien head that's not working for me. But what I have found is that I can look at this as a total failure, or I can look at it as a process. And I learned that making a super big head looks super, super weird. But one thing that I do really like is I love the little detail of the felt on his snout and then the little felt pocket that I did right there. I really like that, and I think it looks really cute. So from this point forward, I am a recovering failure phobe, and I hope that you are too. The fifth and final goal that I want all makers to ditch today is the no pain, no gain goal. Now, this may be dating me kind of a bit because if you're on the younger end, maybe you don't realize that back in the 80s, this was a huge saying. Everybody said it, no pain, no gain. It applied to all kinds of things. And somewhere along the way, I took that to heart, and I really thought that if you were doing something serious, you were doing something worthwhile, you needed to kind of be miserable. And I am recovering from that thought process, and now I am trying to help myself not feel guilty about enjoying what I'm doing, because I love crocheting and knitting and blogging and YouTubing and taking photos of all these wonderful things. So the no pain, no gain goal is as outdated as spiral perms and shoulder pads, and ain't nobody want those things to come back. Thank you so much for stopping by my crochet room, and if you're new here, thank you so much for visiting. And if you would hit that subscribe button and that little bell, that will let you know when I upload a new video. But if you are a regular, thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And would you please like the video, and would you leave me a comment, because I love interacting with all of you. Thank you for stopping by, and I love sharing all about whimsical amigurumi, creative crochet, and running a handmade business.